Good morning. Unfortunately, our CEO Director, Jerry, couldn't make it this morning, so please allow me to explain our journey to occupational health management. I guess that most of us within this room would say that we've got occupational health pretty much well sorted, and that we've got systems in place to address most of the elements that may affect the health of our employees. However, I'd like to discuss a journey that we've taken. Jerry believes we've nearly completed it. Personally, I don't believe it ever stops. We were, as you expect, with 5,000 employees, very concerned on the issue of occupational health. What works, what doesn't? What's an investment and what's a cost? What are the measures of success? And will we make a real change? The journey that we've undertaken, so far as Jerry seems to believe, is that akin to Frodo from Lord of the Rings. Lots of pitfalls, lots of challenges along the way. Nothing ever goes smoothly. So, taking you through the elements that we challenged ourselves with over the past 18 months. Questions we needed to ask were, is occupational health needed? And if so, what does it actually look like? What's good and what's just okay? May Gurney values ensure that we do the right thing for our employees. What does that mean to them in relation to occupational health? What does it mean to the business? And all importantly, how much does it cost? Burning question for most businesses. How do we convince stakeholders that we're on the right path? From clients to our own internal stakeholders, the board, through to the employees, everyone that's involved in this. And finally, how are we going to manage it all to make a difference, to get value from the process, not just in business performance, but for our employees? Firstly, is there a need for occupational health management? Well, pretty much, May Gurney, we provide services to a wide selection of industries: the rail, the waste services, waste management, highways maintenance, utilities, and heavy construction. It's an easy question to answer for us. Yes, we do need it. We need to invest in our workforce. They need to be fit and healthy at the end of the day as they were when they started it. We need them to come back tomorrow. We have a duty in law to ensure that the activities we undertake do not adversely affect the health as well as the safety of our employees and contractors. We carry out a whole host of operations that have the potential to cause harm. A selection is on the slide there. Use of vibrating tools, a very noisy environment, working with lead-based paints, respiratory irritants, carcinogenic and physically stressful environments. We can't get away from that. What we can do, we can limit time on vibrating equipment, we can give mechanical handling issues consideration over manual handling, but at the end of the day, we still have an occupational health issue or risks to our employees. We've got to ensure that we measure what goes on to confirm that our work activities do not adversely affect the employees. So people, whatever your business, are the lifeblood of your organisation. And we succeed or fail depending on how well they feel valued at times. I accept that occupational health is only one consideration. Pay, effective communication also have a lot to do with feeling valued, as well as other things like good welfare, recognition, things like this. However, a few questions that I've got to ask for you to consider. Can we, as respectful employers, accept being the cause of chronic future ill health? If I ask the same question relating to injury or incidents, it'd be a resounding no. But health? Do you feel accountable to employees and their families where ill health is concerned? Because it doesn't just affect the person that works for us. Do you support the principles of fit for life, fit for work, and fit for the future? And do we really understand what that means? And of course, Health and Safety at Work Act. Did we really overlook the bit where it says to ensure the health of all employees as well as safety? Stakeholder engagement. It's clearly important to us all. The government, clients, enforcing authorities, all under real pressure to combat the issue of long-term sickness and disabilities. As some of you will know, Dame Carol Black undertook a review of the health of Britain's working-age population recently. Some of her findings stated that many employers are unaware of the business case for investing in health and well-being. Employers often do not have sickness absence policies to enable early and sustained return to work. Health intervention strategies, this type of thing. Small and medium enterprises struggle to find accessible and affordable sources of support and advice for occupational health. It can be a very costly exercise. As service providers, we need to work effectively with our clients and the enforcement agencies to ensure that what we do is consistent with their expectations and delivering the best for our employees. Engaging the internal stakeholders was the first challenge. To be fair, our board and senior management took very little convincing, given that we had at the time 12 occupational health companies operating in small pockets throughout the business to one effect or another. The strategy was to reduce this down to one and ultimately show a cost benefit. One key consideration was towards creating and using for the benefit of both employees and the business management planning suitable information that was consistent and available to the group. We created a working group with both health and safety representatives and HR representatives. This was an essential move to amalgamate both the safety requirements along with operational referrals. This working group was very successful in determining the requirements for the business and for getting the buy-in from those that are going to manage this process going forward. Also, dare I say, obviously, the commercial department's involvement is key to ensuring that a structure is resolute for bidding organisations to price. The variance of service provision with occupational health is enormous. You need to get to grips with what's being offered by the organisations. So once you have an idea of the service provision, addressing both the legal requirements and to further invest in our people, there's a painstaking activity in trying to decipher who will be the best fit for your organisation. The selection process is the key to getting that right. We started by getting 8 potential providers to present to our working group on their service, some of the existing providers as well as some that were new. We then visited those 8 organisations to get a feel for their systems, their processes, effectively a due diligence review of their service. It proved to be very beneficial during our selection process. IT, major consideration, particularly how are they going to get good, reliable occupational health management information to our managers in a timely manner. It also gave us the opportunity to discover what good looks like. The working group grew to understand the subtle differences of service provision within the occupational health arena. Clearly, cost versus investment is key to the deliberations. We can't afford to mess it up, particularly if we're going to sign a 3-year agreement. On the whole, all of them promise the stars. Getting to the fine points, what are we actually buying? Are we just buying the cosmic dust? At May Gurney, we selected Health Management Limited to work with us as a supplier of occupational health. I must have to admit that there are other providers of occupational health services out there. Just that this one was good for us. When selecting an occupational health provider, it's worth taking account of the other services they offer, in addition to the specific ones that you actually need. Primary services obviously include what's needed for legislative compliance and general health management, but they can all offer other services that can enhance your occupational health management provided to the company and for the benefit of the employees. And then so, as a finance director, put it to Jerry, how much? Let me not underestimate the importance of cost, or indeed investment, for a fully functional and effective occupational health provision operating throughout a large company. We had lots of occupational health previously to this. It really wasn't working for us, really for the benefit for the company. It was very reactive. We needed to be much more proactive. Of course, the law is the law. As long as we do all that's reasonably practicable, then we're okay, aren't we? No. Occupational health management is much more than that. We at May Gurney wanted to go further and include both white and blue collar workers. The design of our services with our occupational health partners included general health checks, as well as simply addressing those areas of occupational risk, such as hand-arm vibration, skin risks or skin checks, hearing tests, that type of thing. We wanted a service that added value to the individuals, in essence, delivery of a well person provision across the organisation. And as we know, men, who are predominantly our frontline workforce, far less likely to go to their doctors over ailments. This provision should serve to add value to them. Reasonable sized numbers, to be fair. What does it really mean? We found all occupational health providers quote case examples where the absenteeism rate has been reduced annually by anything from 15 to 40%. Although these figures quoted, pretty much the reduction in absenteeism rate is determined on a case-by-case basis. The illustration on the screen shows a reduction in our absenteeism rate by 7% over a 3-year period. It's a conservative estimate, but the essential return on investment is a better service with management information adding value to our business and our people. The analysis showed that if occupational health is developed, implemented and absenteeism managed more effectively, the results speak for themselves. Clearly, there are projected savings and costs from our financial model going into final negotiations with our suppliers. But what we all need to remember, however, is that the investment we make is more than money. It's a commitment to our workforce and their families in doing the right thing for them and us. So, and I accept these are difficult times, we're challenging you to look at your organisations to consider, do you need to manage occupational health in your organisation better than you do at the present? Do you want to add value to the employment status of your employees? Do you know if your occupational health management is effective? We're here to take advice or to offer advice to anyone who wants to know more about our journey to make health just as important as safety.